No, don't worry about it. Yeah.
So how did game week 2 went for you?
Yeah, a bit of
Good.
a drop off from game week 1. I think game week 2 basically was like not having Antonio and like not getting a captaincy right. Although I think because most people captain Salah and Fernandez, I don't think it would have made too much difference if I got the captain right. Or like not having Antonio was not a great start, but still okay. Like I think I got like 60. I think I got 65 points, which was okay.
It's okay. Yeah, missed it more. Like the first time, I thought I regretted like why I kept in Salah instead of Fernandez. Then I felt better when
Yeah,
when
yeah,
Fernandez came. Man.
yeah.
So what are plans for like game week 3, and what advice would you like to give like to people?
Game week 3, I'm not too sure. I think so. I'm just looking at my team now. I'm debating whether to captain Son or Fernandez. I think Son is like a bit of a risky pick, but Fernandez is probably a bit safer. But just like looking at the fixtures, there's no fixture that particularly stands out. But I think that I made a predictions video on this week, but I think the fixture where I think the most goals will probably either Leeds versus Burnley or Spurs versus Watford. I think it'll be one of those games. So if I was getting in a player, I'd probably get in a Leeds player. They do play Liverpool after that, but after that they've got some really good fixtures. So yeah, if I was going to advise, I'd say just get in a Leeds player. I'm going to be getting in Bamford next week, as long as he doesn't get injured. Either getting Rafinha, Dallas, Harrison, or Bamford, whichever one's in the best form, or whichever one you think is going to do the best. And then looking at the fixtures on Saturday, I mean, there's going to be loads of high-scoring games. I think Norwich versus Leicester could be a high-scoring game, and City. I think City will put a few goals past Arsenal. I predicted 3-0 for that one. I could be. I might be wrong on that one, but I just have a feeling City will roll them over a little bit. So, I think most goals are going to come from City, Arsenal, and Leicester, Norwich on the Saturday match. Other than that, I think the rest of them are probably going to be quite low scoring. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to predict. It's like anything can happen in football, so it's hard to like give a definite prediction. But if you want to like look at fixtures for the long term, I definitely say Leeds. And I'm also, I brought James in this week, even though Chelsea got really tough fixtures. I think that they're going to win the league personally, and I think that they're probably going to do it in a similar way to the way Conte did it. You know, where they basically like didn't concede many goals, and they just basically scored really important goals. So I've brought in James, even though like he might get rotated. If he does get rotated, he doesn't start. I've always got a reasonably strong bench, so I can bring in like Henry off the bench, and I'll probably have Trent Alexander-Arnold. So ideally, my defense will be Shaw, James, and Trent Alexander-Arnold. But yeah, I mean, what about you? What's your team looking like?
I don't know. Like I have Simicas at the back, so I don't know what to do with them.
Yeah,
I think the most like popular pick for the Simicas situation is like they with Livramento of Southampton United.
yeah,
So or Duffy maybe from Brighton. So they both have
yeah,
like similar prices.
yeah.
But I think I don't want to like keep the Southampton defender in
Yeah.
there. And particularly like Libramento because he's not been like on top of his game. So I don't know. I'm just like very confused. What do you think about Lukaku? Like, is he a good option or like?
It depends on what the rest of your team is. I do think he is a good option, but you have to compare him to the rest of your team because even if he does score well, there will be other players and other teams who are cheaper who will score probably just as well. So really, the only way I see him being a good option is if you're captaining him. So if you bring him in and you captain him and he scores, a big points haul, then definitely he's worth it. But you can have to look at the fixtures where he's captainable. Like if I was to look at Chelsea's fixtures, he could score big against Villa, but then even if he does score big, he's got then Tottenham and City. So from game week 7 onwards, I definitely say I'm definitely getting him in from game week 7 onwards, if so long as form is okay and he's not injured. But I'd say if you're bringing him in to captain against Villa, I can't fault that. But it also depends on the rest of your team. So if you're looking to get ahead and maybe captain against Villa, then that could be a good option. But other than that, I wouldn't bring him in because he's not. He maybe if he gets a goal in every game, that's 6 to 9 points probably. But then for the price that you're getting him at, you could also get in a variety of different players who may also get goals and assists. So it's really difficult that one. I say I wouldn't bring him in unless you're planning to captain him, basically.
Would you like bringing instead of Salah, or would you prefer Salah over Lukaku?
Good question. Yes, because if you look at Liverpool's fixtures, they've got Leeds, Palace, Brentford, and then there's a perfect switch then to go to Lukaku, because then after that they've got City, Watford, United, Brighton. And none of those games, maybe Watford and Brighton, but none of those games are too people are going to be captaining Salah in game weeks 4 to 6 definitely. And if he scores big and you're not got him captained, you'll just go plummeting down the ranks. So so I would say definitely keep him for 4 to 6 and then just monitor him from 7 onwards, because you could get Salah and Lukaku in your team. But then if Salah's performing and Fernandes is not, then you could get rid of Fernandes for Lukaku. But then also, I don't know if you've seen recently, but I think United have signed Ronaldo. Have you seen that?
It's United who signed Ronaldo, or City?
No, United. United.
Okay.
Yeah. Apparently, that's very close to being done. So that's definitely going to throw a spanner in the works. It's gonna throw a massive spanner in the works.
I thought it was City, and I was just there were City talks, right? When before I slept, 2 to 3 hours ago. Cool then. So what I did this week is it'll surprise a lot of people. I've taken out Salah for this week, and I brought in Benrahma.
Right.
And I captained Bonds. Just because for the futures. Yeah.
Oh, Harvey
just because
Barnes. I thought you meant Ashley Barnes. I was like,
no. So that's what I did. So I still have 6.9 in the bank with 1 free transfer.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I feel. Another one of my. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's a risky play, but if it pays off, obviously it's a good transfer. But the Salah is playing Chelsea, and I expect Chelsea to win that game, so it could pay off massively for this week. The question will just be whether it pays off for the weeks after. Are you planning to get Salah back in, or are you kind of
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I'm planning to get in Salah back in. Right. I'll see. If I have to, if Bonds does not perform this week, then I'm gonna take him out and put Salah in, and then we'll see between Tony. I don't know if Tony doesn't perform this week as well, then I'll probably take him out as well.
Yeah.
It's been far too he's not scored.
That's interesting. I think it's low risk to take Salah out for this week. But I'm interested to see, can you transfer any of your players to Salah? Could you transfer Brownhill or Dallas? Do you have enough money for that?
If Bonds doesn't perform this time, then this Salah will come in here.
Yeah.
Let me see. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see it.
Oh yeah. This is what's gonna happen. So still, and I'm gonna remove him. and probably like I'll go for Dennis or someone like that.
Right.
So it's like 1.4 million cheaper, right? So
Hmm.
this is what's gonna happen. And if Ronaldo comes in, someone comes in, then
Hmm.
probably I'll like switch it up again, and probably
Question
like
for
I'll move. Yeah.
just quick question. So, what happens if Barnes does perform?
If Bonds does perform this week,
Hmm. But you want to get Salah in as well? How would you get him in?
then I'll remove him anyway because he has a fixture against Man City,
Hmm.
right? So I'll remove him and put Salah in anyway.
Yeah.
And then if I'll see if he really looks in good form, then I'll probably remove who who's there. Ben Brownhill, maybe I don't know. Brownhill or Dallas.
Yeah.
We'll see. Dallas, Liverpool, right?
I think
Oh,
if you were
not
to,
Dallas.
if you were to
That's
get
good
rid of
fixtures.
if you were to get rid of, say, like if Barnes does perform, I would probably keep Barnes, get rid of Tony for Dennis, and bring in Salah for Brownhill because Leeds have good fixtures.
Yeah.
I
That's
think
that's
that
what I just saw.
yeah, and I think Leicester, even though City seems like a tough fixture, it probably is. But after that, they have got good fixtures, and also Harvey Barnes is one of those players where once he's at full fitness, he's like an exceptionally talented player. So I think that like he'll need the international break to get fitter, Barnes. But then once he is fitter, like he'll I think he'll still be a good pick, so long as he just get injured. His only downside is that he sometimes gets injured. He's one of those players that just sometimes seems to be made of glass. So yeah, I'd keep an eye on that maybe. But I mean, I think it's an interesting play because like it makes it more interesting as well. The game, like making plays where you're switching in and out the premiums to captain them. Sometimes it makes it more interesting. So I think it's a risky play, but it could pay off quite big. So we'll have to see.
Yeah. So maybe bring like and one of my another biggest like questions is Luka Dean. He's not been like he's not been performing well. I'm just keeping
Yeah,
him for the fixture. So we'll see, man. Well, what do you advise me to do uh, for this Luka Dean?
Luca Dean. Um, Depends who you want to get in for him, and what the rest of your defenders. So the rest of your defenders are Trent Alexander-Arnold, Shaw, Kufal. And which formation are you playing?
It depends. Like Chelsea. Okay, not this week. Maybe. So this is how I'll be like. I'm thinking to play. This game week 3.
Hmm.
So I'll probably bench Tony. For Dallas.
Hmm.
This is probably like yeah. This is
Okay.
like for at least 3 game weeks. I don't know. Just something like that.
Okay. I'd really just not worry about him then because he's not like a major. Oh wait, hang on a sec. You're not no, so you're not starting Brownhill either. So I think I would just leave it. He's not like a priority transfer. I wouldn't worry too much about him because he's not a priority transfer. You've got a pretty decent bench, and when you take Salah out and upgrade, when you take what's his name out? I think you're taking Fernandez out, aren't you?
Fernandez.
No. So who are you taking out again? So you've done Salah to, but yes. So when you take out Brownhill and put Salah in, or if you take out Barnes or any of your midfielders, you're probably playing like either a 3-4-3 or a 3-5-2. So like Digne isn't like a massive issue in your team. I would just keep him for now. And if you need money and he's not performing well, I'd downgrade him for someone because you've got a pretty good defense there.
Yeah. So like that's what I'm thinking to like. I'll go for Duffy or someone like that. Because it's not if it's not performing, then I think it's worth taking that. What what do you think about Luke Shaw? I don't think
Luke,
he's been like attacking that much this like in this like 2 games.
yeah, I don't know. Let's have a look at his stats last season because I guess everyone was kind of expecting him to get assists, but it has only been 2 game weeks.
Yeah.
I wouldn't really judge Luke Shaw until it's been at least 7 or 8 game weeks because United aren't at full strength yet. And I wouldn't judge any of United's players until they're at full strength because if they are going for the league, then the chances are that Luke Shaw will get clean sheets and or assists. So he got one goal and 5 assists last season with 2,653 minutes played. If they're going for the title, which they are, and they do get even close to it, he will probably do better than that. And for 5.5, I think it's still a really good pick. So I would have patience with Luke Shaw.
Oh, okay. So yeah. So maybe I'll keep it as well. So
Yeah.
like, do you think it's this is still
I tell
great?
you what, though,
This team.
you could always
Sorry.
do. You could always do Dean to James. If James is starting regularly,
Yeah.
I would either get in. Yeah, I would probably get in James or Rudiger because Chelsea will eventually start keeping clean sheets, and once they go on a run, like people are going to be like flocking to their players. So I would get in their
Yeah.
players.
Yeah, exactly. That's why like the urge was there to sell him because I wanted to get in some Chelsea defender. Right.
Okay.
They're
Yeah,
so like good in defense.
yeah. Yeah, I would keep. I think could be a really good idea. But I'd keep an eye on the rest of the defenders because if Dean starts performing, but Kufal is not performing, you could always do Kufal to James or Shaw to James if he's not performing. But it depends on like the fixtures, the form. Like there's no rush for Chelsea because I'm saying that I have literally just brought James in, but that's because for me Bertrand was going down in value. So I
Yeah.
just maybe keep an eye on. Just keep an eye. I say keep an eye and see how James does this week. If you watch the game or if you watch the highlights, if you really like how he's playing and you watch the Everton game and you don't like how Dean's playing, then that would maybe justify a sooner transfer.
Yeah. Just I'm just searching like, oh, cool man. Cristiano Ronaldo receives Manchester United. Yeah, wow. I'm very happy. Ronaldo came back to
Yeah,
United.
crazy
Awesome.
times. Crazy times.
You can show your team too. Man, I'll just where's it?
It's gone all crackly.
Oh yeah, you can show his team too. Like if you want it.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how he does. But
Stop screen. Okay, cool man. So like final tips. What would you like to like say for this game in 3?
final tips. I'd say we've got an international break coming up, so I would say watch as many games as you can this week. If you can watch them, watch as many as you can this week, and monitor the players over the international break because I wouldn't worry too much about this week. But once games 1 to 3 are done, that's when you've got a good base of information to make some decisions on. So I would just watch as many games as you can. If you can't watch the games, like I always sometimes read the live text on BBC Sport, so they can see which players are creating chances, which players are getting shots on target, that sort of thing. So yeah, if you can just try and get as much information as you can from the games this week, and then use that to prepare for game weeks 4 onwards, because there's always a big shift after an international break. Even if it's not game week 4, it can be game week 5. But after an international break, things always change because players get fitter, teams sometimes get injuries. So if you can, bank a transfer. If you don't bank a transfer, just watch as many games as you can, get as much information about the teams and their form and their managers, their players, as much information as you can, basically.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah, cool, man. So yeah, that's it for today. Maybe. Yeah. All
Yeah,
the best for game three, man. Just one more points, brother.
I mean, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Is there any other questions you want to cover, or are there any teams that you want to cover?
What do you think about Brentford this time? They've been like good
Brent,
defensively, but
Brentford.
yeah.
I
You
think
were
Brentford
like,
have gotten very lucky to not concede a goal. Like very lucky. Now that could be that David Raya is amazing in net, but having said
mm,
that, like I mean, wait, let's just have a look at City. So he's made 6 saves. So I won't say he's amazing in that. The defense is probably just quite good. I'd have to look at remind myself of the stats and see how many shots he's conceded on target. But they have played Crystal Palace, who are pretty bad, and Arsenal, who are also really bad. So I think that sooner or later a thrashing is coming for Brentford, whether it's Villa or it probably won't be Brighton, but I imagine it'll be within the next few weeks. I think there will be a thrashing coming for Brentford, or at least if it's not a thrashing, there might be like a goal fest kind of game, whether it's like a 3-3 or a 4-4 or something. But I definitely think that Brentford will let in more goals.
no. So, do you think like Tony will be the next like this perform well this season, like Bamford or like Dallas did?
Yeah, I don't know. I apparently he's like a really really good player. Um,
Hmm.
According to his manager, his players, like a lot of people are hyping him up, and I think that he definitely can. Like I think he will score more, like 10 or more goals. Definitely, it's just a question of like when those goals will come. So it's just about timing. It'll just be about timing with him. So I think he'll do well over the season. It's just a case of like at what point over the season. So it could be, interestingly, it could be that maybe he performs really well against the big teams. He could be like a who's that playing out? It could be like Vardy. You know, Vardy for some reason Vardy does really well against the big teams, but he does sometimes he just okay against the average teams or mid table or lower teams. But it could be that case. So if I had Tony, I'm going to keep Tony for a little bit. He's not on my priority list to transfer out, and I think if he does, you have to remember, if he does start scoring goals, he's owned at 23%. He's 6.5 million, which means that people will flock to get him in. So there's no reason to get him out just yet. I think that Brentford don't look like a prolific scoring team. Like they don't look like they're going to score like 3 or 4 goals. But once they start gelling and ticking and getting the confidence in the Premier League, Tony will start scoring. So if not now, I think it'll be over the next. I think he'll start scoring over the next 4 or 5 game weeks, somewhere between. Somewhere between now and the next 5 game weeks. I think he'll start scoring.
No. Okay, cool. So like finally, so we end there. So like thank you very much for coming in for another team week.
You sound tired.
So thank you very much. Have a like hope you had a great day, man. So thank you.
Yeah, I will. Thank you. Take care, man.
Thank you, bro.